Every day, my favorite word to say still makes me smile. Just like yesterday, I need you here, really bad. Cause when you go, my heart is saying, my oh my, how this walks in your blood. Keep me in the sky. And I'm so high. I am mine. How this walks I'm so high. Where are you now? In the rain, my angel came. In the rain, my angel came. In the rain, my angel came. Okay, I want to say good evening to everyone today. Welcome to another week of Conversations with the Masterful Raconteur. I'm Florida's own Barry S. McLeod, and I come to you every week with some conversations about the journey, sometimes what's just going on, okay? And today, I wanted to respond. I wanted to respond to a question that I got this week. Actually, I've been asked this question before, and but the way the question was presented to me this week, it made me really take time to stop and think and consider how many other people might, have this same question. And the question is, Barry, why did you choose comedy for your movie SheDaPlaya? For those of you who don't know, I'm producing a comedy movie called SheDaPlaya. Next week, we're going to have our final shoot, and we're going to wrap it all. And God's will, within the next 30 days, we'll be having our private screening. And so we're going to get a chance to watch our movie, celebrate together, critique it, and, see what everybody thinks about it. On that note, if you happen to be an extra in the movie, and I don't have your email address or your phone number, any of your contact information, inbox me, because I want to make sure that you're invited to the private screening. Okay, and if you are one of those who are involved directly with the movie, and you know some of the other extras and et cetera, reach out to them and let them know about it, and let them know that they can contact me about it. Okay, because I want to make sure that I don't forget anybody, because I probably will, and I won't. It'll be accidental. But anyway, before I jump right in, let me just say that in case you don't know, I'm producing a comedy movie called SheDaPlaya, and we have a GoFundMe account. And we would greatly appreciate your donation in any amount, whether you want to remain anonymous or not. We respect that, and we thank you for your consideration. All you have to do is go to GoFundMe.com. In the search box, put in my name, Barry McLeod, or put in the title of the movie, SheDaPlaya, and it will route you to our GoFundMe page. Please help us, because even though we got the movie pretty much taken care of, we have to promote the movie once we finish it, and that's where the bigger expenses come from promoting a movie. It ain't cheap, y'all. It ain't cheap. You can also go to bbinging.com, as you can see on my shirt, bbinging.com, and you can subscribe to watch my content for only $2.99. And all of that money goes to our GoFundMe account. And if you subscribe for $2.99, you get to watch all of my content for 30 days, 24/7. Okay. And so please consider doing that. And thank you for everyone that has. Thank you so much for everybody who has supported our GoFundMe. So here's the rationale for why I chose comedy. Um, what I did, I had to make a decision before I even began to produce the movie, before I began to cast or do anything like that. I had to make a big decision. What kind of movie and story did I want to tell, and why, and what potential, and all of those kinds of things. It wasn't just, I just wanted to do comedy. You know, I was looking at how long I have been involved with productions and stuff and stage plays and filmmaking. I get so, I mean, I do appreciate it. I really, really do. But I kind of get tired of people saying to me, oh, you Tyler Perry, you that Tyler Perry. You know, I'm not, I wish that I was a quarter of the way of where he actually is right now. I mean, all it takes for me at this stage of my career with arts and entertainment, all it takes is just that one situation, because I put in the work and I put in the time. But still, a lot of people are not aware of me, and so I still got to break through that that space right there. If I do that, then a lot of people are going to be aware of me, and I think a lot of people are going to appreciate the work that I have done. And when I say the work that I have done, I'm also talking about all the people that have been involved with me, because I certainly did not do it by myself. Um, so in this season of my journey, I had to try and make a decision about, okay, what movie or what genre is the smartest move for me to make now? What is the smartest one for me to make now? So what I did some research, and I looked at what the stats are as far as how Hollywood and people who do statistics on Hollywood movies. I looked at what are they saying, and I looked at the top 3 to 5 genres that were successful in Hollywood last year, and what traditionally is always going to be at the forefront in terms of genres. And I noticed that comedy was always right there between the top 3 and the top 5. Okay. Now, action adventure is really, really big, and horror and is extremely huge. The horror audience just never goes away, and they're always right there, look like in the top 2 or 3 that genre, at least from my research. And I'm no expert here, but from my research. And so, and then there was drama and comedy. In fact, there's a website called The Numbers, and this is just one of the sources that I use to help me to make my decision. Now, last year, or as they put it, okay, these figures are from 2000, are for 2025, as they said. So, like in last year and up to now, the number adventure ranks number 1, and it the box office gross was 60, right at $68 million. Actually, I think that's let's see, that's actually $1 billion. Okay. And action comes in number two at 63 billion. Drama and comedy are almost tied for third, but they got comedy in the fourth slot at 38 um, billion. Okay. And so drama is like 38 billion 353,000 million 595,600 368, and comedy is 38 billion 198,852. So you see they're running a very, very tight race. So I decided I would do comedy because, first of all, I'm not equipped right now to do any kind of adventure, you know. So, and as much as I love action movies, and I pretty much, when I pretty much watch action movies more than I watch any other genre. I knew that I know that I can produce an action movie, but I know that the talent that I would have to cast would have to be very, very smart and on point, right? So that is something that I could actually pull off. But the smarter choice for me was comedy because, first of all, I know comedians. I have worked with comedians, and I know that if I have a smart script, a good script that everybody would enjoy, I know that the experience of the comedians, um, and the talent, all I would have to do is do a good job of directing them, and all they would have to do is respect my process, and we could make it happen. So that to me was the easiest and the smartest decision for me to make. It had nothing to do with anything other than the strategic mindset and goals that I put on myself to um, to try to do something that I felt would have strong potential at this point of my career as a writer, director, and a producer. So I chose comedy, and I know that I made the right decision because actually I wrote this script so that it would have the potential for a sequel. And I know a lot of comedians, and uh, there's so much talent um, in that department. And I can remember someone was, trying to convince me. They were telling me about this loan that I could get, and they were so adamant. Man, I'm telling you, man, you can do it. I know some people, and I'm telling you this. What you need to do, you need to go and borrow $150,000, man. You might even be able to get $200,000. And what you do, you hire a celebrity, and that'll be somebody that you put in your movie. There would be a good draw. Da 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 da. And I was like, man, I appreciate that, but I'm not gonna go and get into that kind of debt because even with a celebrity, a household name, and even though we were coming out of COVID, and a lot of actors, they're not working, and a lot of them are willing to negotiate. I wasn't willing to take that kind of chance because it does not guarantee that the movie is going to be successful just because you have a celebrity in it. Let's just look at reality. There's so many movies out there that have celebrities in it, and those movies don't necessarily be big hit movies. So I wasn't willing to put myself in that kind of a position. My way of thinking was write a very, very good comedy story there. Let the comedy value be the actual celebrity. That's just my way of thinking. If the comedies, if the movie is done, we have a good comedy, a good script, and I can cast some very hilarious characters, which I have done, and which I have I have written and do a good job of directing, a good job of editing. And when people see it and they're laughing and they're laughing and they're laughing, I may not come out of the gate strong because I got to get people to know about the movie. But as time goes by and word of mouth kicks in, we will gradually gain traction, and we will have realistic potential in that way. And that's just my whole theory about it. And when it's all said and done, we will have pulled it off with talent more so than money. And then that pathway will lead us to money. So that was just my whole way of thinking, and that has been my whole process and effort. Working with comedians is a lot of egos. Well, working with any talent is a lot of egos. But the thing that I'm proud of is that the actors that I have worked with, they have respected my process. I was reflecting an hour ago. I was thinking about how when we were filming outside, for example. See, I have to manage the clock. I have to do the things that the actors don't do. If you let these comedians, uh, uh, kind of have their way, man, they'll be so busy cracking up and joking and jiving while we're trying to film that minutes will be going, and before you know it, at the end of the day, you lost 3-4 hours. And I'm fully aware of that. So I had to be very, very pushy. And some people who had never worked with me before would kind of look at me like, man, he tripping. And because I'm aware, like, for example, when we were filming outside, we actually had to stop filming one time because of the rain. We knew the day before that we was unfortunately going to encounter rain like the next day. So when we were filming, I'm like trying to get it done because we start early and then you see the clouds coming, and I'm like, man, we need to get this done. Y'all stop joking around. Let's get this done. And some people would look at me like, man, they wouldn't say nothing to me. They wouldn't disrespect me, and I'm grateful for that. But I hear things and I see facial expressions, and I push and I say, and I'm like, let's get it done. When we were filming the scenes inside the salon, the barbershop, we were fortunate to get that location, but we had to film there during business hours while the people had customers, man. And so you got the elements of, and we were inside the mall. And so we got the elements of all the background noise that come with the mall. Then you have the elements of the clippers, zzz, cutting the hair, and then the people laughing and talking in the background. We had to do the best we could over all of that. And we got to try to get in here and get out. The guy that owns the salon, Mr. Slater, he was very, very kind and gracious. But me understanding business, we got to come in. He's allowed us to come in and do. We got to come in here and do what we got to do and get up out of here and get out of the way. We had another shoot where we did inside of a club. Well, thanks to all of those who supported our GoFundMe, we had funds to rent the place, but it was only for a certain amount of time. And so, and then we had to go in like on a Wednesday on a day when they're not open, which means that staff had to come in and be there while we're filming, and we paid for a certain amount of time. And these people are like, this is normally our off day, and y'all need to come on and do what you got to do. We're going to accommodate you. They were very kind and gracious and supportive, but at the same time, I'm fully aware these people are ready to go home. So now I got to push the actors. Come on, y'all, stop. No, we're not here to play. We're here to get work done. And so the actors, they looking at me like, man, boy, he's strong, man. Yeah, I am. But now, after it's all said and done, they're able to look back and see why. Why was I like this? Why was I so pushy? Why was I so firm and no nonsense about certain things? Because I understood we got a certain window of opportunity to get this done. And we don't want to spend this money all over again make these requests all over again to come in and do this again. We are here now. We need to get it now. And then on top of that, we had actors coming from everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but we had actors coming from down south, as far north as Kingsland, uh, Georgia. We had Jacksonville. We had Orlando. We had Tampa. We had Ocala. Of course, Gainesville, my hometown. You know, and so to coordinate all of this, and everybody's got families and children and jobs and stuff, and so that is a responsibility, and one that I handle, and so so now the actors have an opportunity to see that there was a very important method for my madness, and I think that they have an appreciation for me in a bigger way, But fortunately, I have to give them all credit that even though I might have annoyed some sometimes, and even though some certain ones might have annoyed me sometimes, look at what we accomplished. If you haven't seen the trailer for SheDaPlaya, check it out. I'll come back later and I'll post it. Uh, I'll put it on the link on this post, if in case you haven't seen it. But I think it's a pretty good trailer. We've been getting positive feedback from it, and it's not our official trailer because we got one more shoot. So I gotta tie up all screws, before we can do our official trailer. But I put that trailer out so that I could get some feedback, and and so far the feedback has been really, really positive. So I'm very, very thankful for that. And so all of these things go into making a decision about a particular movie. You have certain actors that bring a certain energy and a certain wit, and where would be the most beneficial uh, uh, categories and perspectives and nuances and dynamics and all of those type of things for me to make a sound decision as a director, and at the same time, me being the writer, to have the people that I feel like would really take what God gave me and I'm giving to them, and they would do it justice. All of this has to go into the decision making before I even cast. So yes, I chose comedy because it was a smarter move. I put myself in a position where after this movie is done and people are loving it, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do a sequel to it. And of course, I haven't written that yet, but I'll write it when the time comes. And then on top of that, I was able to meet some new people for the first time, and that gives me more uh, more to consider. I put it like that, as far as am I going forward, and casting people. There's people that I worked with in the past that I wish I could have worked with again, but everything is all about timing and circumstances. And but I've come a long ways, and I'm very, very grateful for what I've been able to accomplish, um, and I'm glad that I'm finally in my career. I'm finally doing the kind of work that people are noticing more and more and more, and people are starting to realize that there's this guy uh, in Florida who he's actually doing some stuff, and he's pretty good. And I have people now reaching out to me more. I can remember when I started out, I was trying to find people, and now people are finding me. And so I've come a long ways, and I'm very, very grateful for that. And I feel like I truly did earn the right to be able to say that, you know. But SheDaPlaya, the movie, we're gonna do our final shoot next week. Um, we will wrap the whole movie, and I would get that edited, and then we will. I'll be able to do an official trailer, and then we'll do our private screening, and we'll talk about it, and then I'll do one more final edit so that I could trim the time down some. Unfortunately, we got so much good stuff. Some of it I'm gonna have to cut out because we are way over time limit right now, and so that's going to be a task for me to do that. But we're going to get it done. But yeah, comedy. If you look into it, comedy is always going to be right there in the top 3 to 5 of all the big movies that you see come out from in Hollywood. And Atlanta is a big deal. But Hollywood has the most history and the biggest stats. So I kind of went with those stats, and 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 I made decisions based off of that information that I came across. And so I think I made a sound decision. And I can't wait for you all to see the movie and tell me what you think. I want to thank all of you for who touched in with me this evening. I see my girl Claudine Chandler, a comedian out of Jacksonville. What's up, lady? How you doing? Appreciate you sitting in with me this evening. And she is y'all. If y'all ever see her name where she's performing somewhere, whether it's Jacksonville or not, she's funny. She's really funny. I even brought her down to Gainesville one time, and she's really one of my favorite talents. And one of my favorite people. She don't really know how much of a favorite person she is. Now she might be thinking about it, but I always enjoy working with her, and I've always had an appreciation for her. When I first produced the Duvals and I met her, man, she was so supportive. And we didn't know each other, but she was so supportive, and I've always been grateful to her for that. And I want to say hello to uh, Naomi. Uh, she was an extra in the film, and I'll be contacting y'all, all you extras. Monique was an extra, Wilkes, and I'll be letting y'all know on the date of the screening, because we actually got a date. But I'll be sending group emails out like I always do in a group, and that way I can tell everybody at one time. But if I don't, if I some there are some extras who I actually don't have your contact information, because when I started off, um, I got more organized as we went by, and then I got a little less organized as we went going, because when I started off, I had an assistant, then lost the assistant, and then me being one person, I can't do everything, and I can't be my best at every single thing. So I'm doing the best that I can. I want to say hello to Tanya Davis, and and so y'all share this post with somebody and help me get the word out, and tell somebody to support our GoFundMe, and tell somebody to support Be Binging, BeBinging.com. It ain't nothing but $2.99 to be able to say that you support it. I really do appreciate it. I come here every Monday evening with Conversations with the Masterful Raconteur, and that I consider myself as that because my library validates that. And so I'll be back next week, and y'all know that y'all hear from me in little pop-ups here and there. Starting this week, I'm going to start sharing some bloopers and some behind the scenes stuff that we did. So y'all stay in the touch with me, and thank you for touching in this evening. Y'all have a beautiful rest of your day and have a wonderful week. I am Florida's own Barry S. McLeod, truly the right kind of different.